Good afternoon, guys. Welcome back into my channel. So in this lab, we're going to talk about um a template for virtual machine. So one of the things that I created on my own was a template for our virtual machine. And in this template, so I have my new VMs. So say I have an environment and so I have an environment, and in this environment, say I have production. So it's called this pod. And say for instance, I have so so if this is in production, I can just type prod, and if it's a if it's a type of like dev, then I'll have the name of the virtual machine. If I'll have the name of the virtual machine, like if it's a type of like a development environment, I could call it like P-SQL and say 100. Now, now, so in my example here, any machine in production starts with P. So you just know what the production machine based on the name, then whatever the service is, right? So so it's going so this is going to be like a SQL like a SQL like a SQL server, like slash that, um dash 100. So it's the first instance of the SQL Server location. So in this issue, as the VM size pricing, I'm using reserve. So for the OS image, so let's say the location, I can place this on the East US. And now the VM, let's say I put a DV4. Um, so so the pricing, like I said, so the pricing, I can place this as reserve, right? And let's say the OS image, let's install Windows Server 20, the latest Windows Server. So let's say we we put a OS of Windows Server 2022. Just make a little bit of room. Apologize for that. So say you just fold this over a little bit. Okay. So um, now the name of the resource group, say the name of the resource group, then, let's say we put the resource group name as RG1, right? And say we have to put the, the availability zone. Let's say we do set and a slash zone. Now, so we have the OS image, the availability zone. Is it on an availability zone sets? Is it on the availability zones? Or is it in either? Then on the disk here, just click on this. On the disk here, I have the type of disk. So let's just say you would go on storage and you would put this on disk like premium. So let's say we put it on premium. Premium SSD we install on this. Now, so just in the example here, we can do the encryption type as PMK slash CMK. Okay. So is this a platform or managed key? So meaning that it's managed by Azure or it is a custom. So managed key meaning I have an Azure Key Vault on the networking. So the NAT it's on, so the subnet within the VNet and the public IP address, the private IP address. So yes or no, it is the lowest balance. What open port do you actually have? So let's go here on networking and see. Now, so now we have to set up the subnet and the VNet and the public IP address and the private IP address. So let's go ahead and say, let's say for instance, I have an IP address of 172.0.0.0/8. And we have a subnet of 172.0.0/16. So we we don't have a public IP address. I should have a private IP address too as well. So just click this. Let's let's make this go here. No. Let's make this go here. Let's make this go here. Control V. Let's make this go here. Control V. I didn't really need all these, so should make this private IP address. Okay, so let's carry these back here, and let's carry this back also. So, and then paste it here. Okay, so let's just make a little bit of room for that. All right. So let's say we don't really have, I mean, any IP, like any public and private IP for that right now. So let's say we go on load balancing, whether if it's yes or not, yes or no, and what port open. So if it's Windows machine, so we're gonna have to RDP into it. So let's use port 3389. So okay. So now on the management side, where to go to management down here. On the management side, let's say like our booth diagnostic, whether like if it's unable, let's say for booth diagnostics is unable on the guest diagnostics, or the guest diagnostics is unable, the diagnostic storage account and name of the account and stuff like that. So the auto shutdown and backup and manage identities. So let's go ahead and just say, okay. And yeah, let's say we say enable. And on the guest, OS guest diagnostic, let's say disable. And on the diagnostic storage account, let's say whatever name that's we create here. So let's say name. And on the auto shutdown, so do you have an auto shutdown enabled? Like, do you have do you have a, let's say we say it's off, and do you have a backup enable? Let's say the backup is off. Enable, let's say, do you have a manage identity? So those are either on or off, with the exception of the diagnostic storage account. That will be the name of the account. So let's say this is off. Sorry. Now in advance, so in advance here, in advance, let's say, let's say that, so on the virtual machine, so it's, if it's generation one, I mean, in the advanced, so first of all, so say for instance, like on the extension here, so do you have any extension that are loaded? If so, then the name of the extension. So say name, and do you have like what is the generation of the virtual machine? So if it's generation one or generation two, I could put here like either one or two. And if so, then what is the host group? The reason I love this, guys, so let's go ahead and say the host group. So put the name of the host group. So the reason I love this is I list all my virtual machine as the template, so it's easier for my coworkers or anybody that needs any information related to virtual machine. So to simply scroll through this list. Now, maybe you can create a list like this just for school servers, or maybe you use a copy of this really as another template for web server, but just as a way to document exactly what we have, much easier than typing to look for the interface and figure out what pricing model or image or resources group something is actually is. So remember, document, document, and document your things. So as a solution architect or cloud engineer or SysOps or DevOps or whatever it is, it's always a good practice to document your stuff. So that's just a sign that shows that you're a very unorganized person. So if you were to go to VNet here, so you could see that I have the resource group. Let's say put the name of the resource group, or either I could say, okay, so it's on resource group. So RGR1. And what VNet name, what region, what DNS server, what peering, what VNet peering, what VPN gateway, what express route, and stuff like that. So these are all the necessary documentation that you have to do. So you got to keep in track of your stuff. You got to know how to organize yourself, your stuff. So one of the greatest skills in cloud architect or cloud engineering is always a soft skill. So the soft skills is very important that you document your stuff. You organize, because people is always going to come through and ask you question, and you have to be able to answer them based on the question that's being asked. I know this is not an end zone demo, but this is very important that you keep in track all these informations, starting from the environment, from the VM name, from the location, the VM size, the pricing, the OS image, the resource group, the availability, and all the way to either you wanna call, document, like if your machine, like on if it's on a DNS server, if it's a VNet peering, if it's a VPN gateway, if it's an express route and stuff like that. So thank you so very much. I appreciate you as following along. Stay tuned for another lab. I love this. That's why I'm always want to make sure that I share my ideas with whoever you are. I'll see you in the next lab. Thank you.